All right, we're gonna do a landscape background for our barns. So first thing, we're gonna have some brightly colored oil pastels. You're gonna do 3 different types of hills in your background, so you need to choose 3 different oil pastel colors. I'm gonna start with this color right here. So first step, you're gonna start the edge of your paper a little bit halfway down. So this is about halfway, and I'm gonna go a little bit below that and just do kind of a curved line going all the way across your paper. Okay, once you have that curved line, you're going to color it in. Try not to press super hard because these oil pastels will break. They're a little bit softer than crayons, but just color that in really good. Try to make sure you're not scribble scrabbling. All right, next hill, choose a different color. Maybe I'll try this orange. We're going to do another curved line from here, and it's going to go all the way across to the other side of our paper. Okay, and color that in. Kind of outline first. So outline all your edges and where that other hill is, and then color this in. Okay, now you need one more color. I think I'm going to do this yellow. Now this hill is going to be kind of go halfway across, and it's going to be a wavy line all the way across our paper. So just kind of do a really wavy line, and then color that in. Again, outline first. So I like to outline the edges and around those other hills so I don't mix those colors up. And then color these in. Try not to scribble scrabble like that. You really want to color it all the way in so you don't see any white spaces. Okay. All right, that's pretty good. Now, next part. We're going to get a white oil pastel, and we're going to draw some clouds. Now, this is going to be hard for you to see, but remember, your barn is going to go in the middle of your paper. So maybe we just put some clouds on the edges. And I know it is hard to see, but you can kind of see some of those oil marks. If you want to try to color it in, you can. I think I'm going to just do some outlines. So I'm going to do a straight line and then some little curved lines on top. I'm just going to do outlines for my clouds. And you can draw your clouds however you want. You can do little small ones, you can do big ones. If you do a few small ones, it'll look like the sky is going back into space because clouds get smaller as they get farther away. All right, now we have our oil pastel done, so we are finished with those. Now we're gonna paint. We're gonna paint right on top of all of our oil pastel. All right, so we're gonna start with a shade of green, which a shade is when you add black to a color. We're gonna start with the darker color in the front because in real life, it gets lighter as you go back into space in a landscape. So we're gonna start with our darker color. I'm gonna take just a little bit of black and a bigger scoop of green and mix that together. Made it a little more green, a little more black. You wanna make sure you have enough paint to fill up. We're gonna paint right on top of this first hill. So that should be good. And now I'm gonna outline first, right on that first hill. And it's okay if you get a little bit on the table. We'll wipe it up later. So you kind of got to paint this fast because we're going to scrape the paint off to get our texture of our hill. So I'm going to flip my brush over, use this side, and I'm going to scrape off some of that paint. And I'm going to just do some straight lines on this one, kind of making it look like grass. I'm going to do a different pattern on each hill. So if you don't want to do straight lines like this, you can pick another pattern. You can do curved lines, you can do zigzag, you can do wavy lines. All right, so there's my, first hill. We'll paint over that later. Now, next hill, I'm gonna do a little bit lighter. I might just use this plain green. Maybe I'll put a little tiny bit of white in it. Scoop some of that off to the side. Okay, so now I have a little bit lighter color of green because I added some white to it. I made a tint, is when you add white. Now I'm going to paint this one with my little bit lighter color. Okay, and then, so I outlined it first and then I filled it in. And again, you gotta go kind of fast before this paint dries. All right, now I need a new pattern. So flip your brush over. We're gonna scrape off a new pattern. I think I'm gonna do some curved lines. So it kind of looks like a field of maybe corn was grown here or some soybeans. I'll add a few more little lines. It's okay if they're not perfect. All right, so there's my one little field. Okay, I got one more area I need to paint. So now I'm gonna use a lot of white and a little bit of green. I'm gonna kind of scoop up some of that green and just mix it in with all this white. I want a really light tint of green. So tint, remember, tint is when you mix white with it. A shade is when you mix black. Okay, there's my tint. I'm gonna paint this one. I might go around the outline first. It's okay if you get on top of those other hills. This one's kind of a skinny little hill. All right, now pick a new pattern or some new kind of lines. Let's see, I'm gonna try wavy lines on this one. Okay, you can do any kind of lines you want. You could do like hashtags, you know, where it looks like this. You could go around this way one time and then this way another time. That might look kind of cool too. All right, so there's all my hills. Okay, now you have drawn clouds back here. Don't forget about those. We're gonna use our temper cakes, and you have to add water to your temper cakes, and we're gonna paint the rest of this with a blue. So remember, temper cakes, you have to get these wet, so kind of dip your paintbrush in the water. You can use either one of the blues that you have, and we're just gonna come paint straight across this whole area, and your clouds should pop up since the oil resists that water. Try really hard not to touch your hills that we drew. I'm gonna kind of outline them again so I don't accidentally paint inside of there. There's another cloud. It's kind of like magic when they pop up. And I might go back. I'm gonna wash my brush out. So tap on the bottom, wipe off the side. I'm gonna add some more of this darker blue in there too. The temper cake keeps rolling around. Okay, just paint right on top. Okay. There is my background, okay? All right, and put this on the drying rack when you're done so we can let it dry and then glue our barns right on top. Now we're gonna cut out our barn. So we don't wanna cut too close to this black line because we do want this black line to show up. We don't wanna cut it off of our paper. So remember, keep your scissors pointed straight out in front of you. And I'm gonna go a little bit to the side of the black line, kind of cut a space or leave a little space around your barn so that we see those nice black stamped lines that we did. Okay, there's your barn. Now for your hay, you have your yellow paper. You can do whatever you want with this. If you want it 2 haystacks, or do you want 1 big haystack? I think I'm going to draw 2 haystacks. So first I'm going to flip my paper over, and haystacks kind of look like almost that shape. Kind of looks like a big old bear ear. So I'm going to cut those shapes out after I draw them. And don't make them too small. You can always trim it down if it's too big, but you can't add to it if it's too small. So there's one. And when I flip it over, you have your nice little texture that we made. Okay, and there's my other one. See how now it kind of looks like a haystack? Alright, so we're going to glue our barn right in the middle of this. And my paper is so big that's not showing up on my camera. But you guys get the picture. So see, I'm kind of gluing it right in the middle. Maybe right on top of this hill back here. If you wanted to come all the way down in front of both those hills, that would be good too. So with your glue stick, remember we always glue on the back side. Alright, found my purple glue. So we just glue on the edges and kind of go back and forth a couple times. And remember, you got to do this real fast because the glue stick dries super fast. And then you'll place this where you want it, maybe right in the middle. Press it down. And you guys know my little trick about flipping the paper over and giving it a good little back rub where your barn is. Okay, and that will make it stick a lot better. Okay, so here's my barn. Now same thing with your little hay, stacks of hay. Maybe you can put one behind your barn or in front of your barn, wherever you want to put your haystack. I'm going to glue just the edges. I might put one kind of way, maybe right here. Stick that down. I'm going to rub it when I put both of them down. Then on the back side of this haystack, you always want to put glue on the back of your paper that you're sticking to your artwork so that you know exactly where your glue is going to go. Alright, now I'm going to rub my paper on the back side one more time. Make sure everything sticks down really good. Whoop. Make sure your name's on the back. Ah, that one fell off. I obviously did not glue that one on very good. Also, I think my paper is still kind of wet from my paint. Alright, and then you have your beautiful farm